Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Business Morning on Channels Television, and we're still talking about cement standardization, looking at the various issues and challenges in the construction industry. And I still have here with me Engineer Fumi Banjoko. He is the CEO, Lekki Essential Services Limited. Thank you very much, Mr. Banjoko, for sticking on. Right, before we went on break, you were talking about local content, because we've noticed that in that industry we have a lot of foreigners, do this work. Does that go to buttress the fact that we do not have qualified engineers? Is that correct? We rightly say that, yeah, Nigeria does not have qualified engineers to do this job. That's why we have foreigners coming to do it.
No, Nigeria has more than enough qualified engineers. You go to a lower artisans. Now we're talking of artisans and the workmen. The engineers, they're there. But part of engineering, the engineering part is, do people employ engineers on projects? Enough? That's the question. Do you employ enough engineers? So when I talk of the local content, the construction will be broken into three major parts. You have the major professionals, the architects, the engineers. Then you have the supervisors, the workmen and all that. Then you have the supervisors who could be, maybe in the past, there were people like that, ONDs, HNDs, city and girl. Then you have the artisans, the laborers and all that. So it's a strata. On a massive, maybe you should have 5 engineers on a project. Most times you probably have 1 or 2.
As a professional.
The professional. Maybe only 1. You just have 1 engineer supervising a massive job.
Well, is that not a way to cut costs, perhaps?
Beautiful. It's a way to cut costs. So that's why I say it goes back. So that's what I'm saying, the contractor. So you give a contractor a job. It comes in with 1 engineer or 2. If it's not specified, then the other people maybe comes in with even 2 or 3 supervisors. Those probably could be Nigerians, 1 or 2. Every other person down the ladder, most times, or 80% of other people down the ladder are not Nigerians.
No,
them.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. There seem to be so many issues surrounding this, non-professionals in the industry, and of course costs. And here we're talking about bridging the housing deficit. People would want to own their own homes. So how do we go about this? And then we still want to reduce this incidence of building collapse. How do we go about this? Cost of building seem to be very high, and I kind of wonder why. So how do we really go about this to ensure that, first, we provide homes for people, and then also ensure that when we have these buildings, that they are actually, strong, and they wouldn't have to collapse on their occupants.
Okay. Main thing, we want housing for all. Yeah, when I was describing, I said you have 1 engineer or 2, you have 2 supervisors. The majority of people in the construction industry are artisans. So construction industry is a major provider of employment. You don't need any major experience to be a laborer, to carry headpans, to do all. And those are that's the largest volume number of people you use. Then you have the next person, people setting the bricks and all that. They are also large, setting the reinforcement. It's not rocket science. I don't think it's so difficult. I know it's not so difficult to train these people. That also is a major provider of employment. If people are working, then they can afford, then cash comes in. Then they can build or buy houses. So we would have done, if a lot of people are working, it's easy to do the mouse out. Now we're talking of building collapse. Now, if those people are trained, even a short training, we could do, you can do an abridged training. You can do a training, you can shorten the training time or span to get people to be employed to do these jobs because they're manual and they're basic. So we can do that. And if you then tell them the importance, which I think a number of cement companies, manufacturers are doing now, aluminum and all, the importance of if you don't use the right mix, what will happen? There's collapse and all that. So we then train the people. If it's on every site, a weekly training on the effect of not using the right quantity, the effect of using the wrong materials, what can happen after. It's just mass enlightenment.
All right. Now, aside from having a 42.5 MPa grade of cement, the House is also recommending that government should create a cement fund for contributions of 10 naira per 50 kilogram bag of cement produced in Nigeria, and 20 naira per 50 kilogram of imported cement for the establishment of what they call state-of-the-art of laboratories, in all the geopolitical zones. Well, I really don't understand what this means, but do you think that's going to help?
I think it will help a lot, because once you have a fund, to drive to improve technology and to double check. For instance, if every local government, I put double check again, if every local government has somewhere where you can, every local government has where you can check on the cement, the concrete produced, the iron rods produced, then it's a lot easier. If there's any doubt as to anything, a quick check can be done, and the nation will be better for it.
Well, we really don't have much time here, but just a quick one. Now, do you think that the passage of the National Building Code Bill would also help to checkmate some of this?
Yes, it will help, but it's not in the bill. The main problem is it's not in the bill, it's not in the law. It's in the enforcement and implementation. And that involves all of us, not just engineers, not just the House. Even the ordinary citizen on the road can see and comment. And that will give us the kind of structures we want.
All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Banjoko. It's been an interesting conversation, and it's been wonderful having you on the program.
Thank you very much, too. I appreciate it.
Well, I've been speaking with Engineer Fumi Banjoko. He is the CEO Lekki Essential Services Limited, and we've been looking at the issue of standardization of cement in Nigeria and other issues surrounding the construction industry. Well, it's in that note that we draw the curtain on today's edition of the program, and of course for this week. And so I must say, thank God it's Friday. So do remember to be with us again on Monday and remain Chimezie Obiwaku. Have a beautiful day.